Talking Jaspers baseball, it is already episode number 14. That is the head coach of the Manhattan Jaspers baseball team, Dave Miller. I'm Mark Renee, and you're coming off a weekend up in Canisius. You wound up taking Sunday's finale, and that turned out to be a big win in the standings.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, the conference with the top six teams making the postseason, like our big philosophy this year and our big mantra is like don't get swept. We just cannot, after losing Friday, to a very good pitcher in Duffy, and then losing a heartbreaker 4-2 on Saturday. Sunday was almost like a Game 7 of the World Series for us, and they played like it. They knew it was at stake, and they came out, played a hell of a game, and walked out of there with a W.
What can you say about the relief effort that Ali Putwar gave you those 5 innings?
I mean, I tell you, when that kid came in the fall, we didn't know what to expect with him, but I mean, he's pitching like a senior that's been here before. I mean, he just came out. He knew what was at stake. He knew he needed to put up zeros, and he did that. He literally made one mistake, which was an 0-2 pitch to the number 35, their DH, who hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think that was his only mistake on the whole day.
How important is it for you guys to try and get him into consideration now for some postseason honors?
Well, I mean, I just think it's a testament to what he's done. He deserves it, So, I don't think we need to do anything. I think his numbers should speak for themselves. But I mean, like when you go out and you're a young freshman and you're doing what he's doing, it's just a nice feeling to know that the rest of the league, sees what you've done and rewards you for it.
Go back to Friday, that first game, a 14-9 final, rough start again for Will Hessling. Couldn't build off the momentum of the previous weekend here at Clover. What did you see from him?
Well, he got off to a really good start, and and I think Will's problem sometimes is he puts a lot of pressure on himself to do it all himself. And I think he went through the first 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down, and then we got 2 outs, and then it was like a 1-pitch ground ball to Jack Lynch that Jack ended up dropping on the transfer. And then it was a walk, and then it was a home run, and then I think it just kind of spiraled out of control. Will threw a pitch, that pitch he threw, they gave up the home run. He felt something tingle a little bit in his shoulder, and he tried to push through it. So, we think we're going to, hold him back for a couple of days just to recover a little bit. And, but he's still the guy that we look for. Any given day, if he can come out and give you what he did against 2 weeks ago, that's what you want. But, so, against the Mount. But I mean, it's just like we got to keep him healthy. We got to just make sure he's doing what he's doing. To come up and pitch big for us in a big situation.
Yeah. So how does that change the plan going into the final weekend here against Ryder?
Yeah, we're going to push the rotation back a little bit. We're going to, O'Neill only threw 50-some pitches on Sunday, so he's still pretty rested. So we'll start him on Thursday. We'll keep Fagler in the Friday role, and then if necessary, if Will has to pitch on Saturday, he's going to go.
There is a logjam. Top 3 spots in the league. The 4th looks like it's probably secured by Quinnipiac, but then you and Niagara tied for 5th. So you're in a playoff spot heading into the weekend. Purple Eagles have the tiebreaker over you. Mount St. Mary's 1 game behind you, but essentially 2 because you have the tiebreaker against them. And then Iona's still in the mix too. Did you expect when you were sitting and mapping out the season schedule that it would be such a logjam going into the final weekend?
Well, when this is my first year in the MAC, so as I start to see the teams, you see a lot of these teams are pretty equal. Everybody has 2, 3, 4 really good hitters. Everybody has 1, 2, 3 really good pitchers. So, it's anybody can win at any given day here in the MAC, and I think that's what's great about this league. I think the easiest way for us to just do what we need to do and go take care of business ourselves. I don't want to say that I'm rooting for Niagara to win, but I'm rooting for Niagara to do their parts. But other than that, like Frank in year 2 at the Mount has done a great job of building that program up, and I'm proud of what he's done. I was his assistant coach when he was at William & Mary, so it's good to see what he's doing, and he's going to be a foe for years to come. But I mean, like, I don't want to rely on anybody else to handle our business. I think the best thing that Manhattan baseball can do is just go out and do it ourselves.
All right, let's talk about the offense, which we haven't gotten to yet. Surprisingly, a few minutes in, we haven't touched on the offense yet. You got a 2-home run, 4 RBI game from Logan Fannenbecker the other day. Pete DeRocher back to the top of your batting average list, and he's on a 6-game hitting streak. What can you say about those two guys from the weekend?
Well, I mean, what Logan's done, he was a kind of a role player for us early that's worked his way into a starting role as a designated hitter and our second catcher. He's just been tremendous at getting on base. His walks are up, he's getting timely hits when we need them. I wasn't expecting a little power surge from him, but I will take it. So he's been anything short of awesome for us in the 2-hole. Pete is just really starting to get more and more consistent. I think he stopped putting a lot of pressure on himself to do too much to win games for us. And getting Jack Lynch back in the lineup is really, they're starting to pitch to Pete a little bit, a little bit more hitter-friendly for Pete. So I think that helps. And, we've now got some guys that are really stepping up to hit behind Pete to protect them. So you can't just throw, pitch around Pete now that Alfredo and Jack are back in the lineup.
All right, and going into this midweek, your final midweek non-conference game. Fordham Rams invading Clover Stadium today. What's the scouting report on Fordham?
Well, I mean, I played against, when I was the head coach at LaSalle, I'm very familiar with Fordham and Coach Layton. He always builds a good squad. I mean, if they usually have great pitching and they're fast. That's what I remember. So we'll see what it is today. We are probably, at this point going to save some of our bigger arms for the weekend. So this should be, getting some guys that haven't thrown a lot this year, getting them some innings. But I don't want to give any game away, so we're going to play this game to win. But at the same time, we're really, really, really focused on Thursday.
Yeah, any lineup changes that you want to share with us for this afternoon?
Yeah, I think we're going to give Raz a day off today and let him rest his legs because he's going to have to catch all 3 this weekend. So we'll give big Steve Travaglini a start today, for a senior, basically, senior start for him, and let him go out and try to get 4 or 5 at bats and have some fun with it. But other than that, our starting lineup will be the same, other than we're going to rest Raz.
Well, that also begs the question: if Trav is going to be in the lineup, who's your first base coach?
Good question. I might put Raz out there, but we'll figure that out as we get there. I'll think about that. But I just think it's for as hard as Steve's worked this year and getting ready to graduate on Friday. This is a big honor for him to get to start.
All right, breaking news. You're a Philly guy, and as we come on, we find out Doc Rivers got fired by the 76ers. What's your reaction?
That's my reaction. I didn't know. I didn't fight. I follow the Sixers, and I'm a big Sixers fan. I had heard that the rumor mill was circling, so I don't think he's hurting for money, or I think he'll be fine landing another job at some point if he wants one. But, I think with that Sixers team, they should have been playing for a championship.
Yeah, I think the rumor mill is going to heat up now. Hey, Jay Wright, I know you're out there, pal. Saw you a couple of weeks ago at that Brooklyn Old Timers basketball Hall of Fame induction. I think they're probably calling, if your phone is ringing off the hook, I have a feeling it's the 76ers. Coach, appreciate the time as always. Good luck today and this weekend in the regular season final series against Rival.
Thank you very much.
That is the head coach of the Manhattan College Jaspers, Dave Miller. On Marker Day, we have been talking Jaspers baseball, and we'll be back with you next week for the preview of the MAC Conference Tournament right here at Clover. Part 2 of episode 14, Talking Jaspers Baseball. Left-handed reliever Oliver Hudvar joining us. I joked when you sat down, but I'm kind of serious. How's your arm feel after those 5 innings on Sunday?
Surprisingly, it feels pretty good right now. I haven't thrown today yet, so we'll see. I took the day off yesterday, but I'll tell you how it feels after I throw.
How much ice did you go?
On the way back home, I didn't put any on, but yesterday I was icing.
Well, you did a hell of a job, so kudos to you. Did you expect that you would be called on to go that long in the series finale?
I don't know if I expected to go that long, but the pitch count stayed low throughout the whole time. down. So I felt very like fresh every inning I was going out there. Kept my arm hot. So I don't know if I expected to go that long, but it happened. So glad I got that far.
Yeah, what's it mean to you to pick up a win against the defending conference champs who are in the running for the regular season champion?
That definitely means a lot. Shows that like anybody in the MAC is beatable too. So it's good to know that like I can feel confident going out there against anybody.
All right. I don't know what the coaches expected of you coming into the season. I don't know what you expected from you coming into the season. But as you hit the final week of your freshman season as a Jasper, how much have your results exceeded your own expectations?
I'm always a guy that sets my standards very high, and like I always feel like I've got something to prove, being from like a small state like Vermont. So like I just really love going out and competing every day, and so I guess like I would say that I'm doing exactly what I came here to do and expected to do, I guess, and I just got to keep it going now.
And I think, given what you've accomplished as a freshman, certainly all freshman team consideration in the MAC come next week when the postseason awards are announced ought to be a lock. I don't want you to get a giant head about it, but what does it mean to you that you're in consideration now too for the all MAC postseason team on top of that?
The big goal, like all those accomplishments would be great, but the big goal is obviously getting this postseason and making making a splash for sure. So like just getting in there. I know last year Niagara had a run as the 6th seed, and all like any team in the playoffs can go anywhere with it. So I know big goal right now is getting to the playoffs and doing something.
All right, obviously heading into the final weekend, you've got Ryder coming in here to Clover. You know you're tied for 5th with Niagara. You know they've got the tiebreaker. So 6th place looks like it would be the spot. How locked in are you guys to the standings, and how much have you been talking about, the situation coming into that final weekend?
We definitely keep it in the back of our heads, but we obviously still have to go out there and play. We still have to, win a game at least to get in, I feel like. We definitely have it in the back of our heads, but we don't want to make the pressure too big about it to get us overwhelmed. So we're just kind of trying to stay loose, because I think that what worked well against Canisius, we were just playing loose and guys were doing their jobs. So we're just going to keep doing our jobs.
And what's been your favorite part about being a Jasper here as you wrap up season number 1?
All my teammates, playing with them. I've met some of my best friends already playing here, and yeah, just the guys, the atmosphere. The stadium that we're playing at is awesome too, and I just love the competition as well.
Well, appreciate the time. Congratulations on all your success and continued good luck. Big 3 games coming up this weekend.
Thank you very much.
And then, of course, we've got the conference tournament right here at Clover starting next Wednesday. We'll see you then.